In a small, dusty village nestled between rolling hills, lived a boy named Ben. He was scrawny, with tangled hair and worn-out shoes, often seen kicking pebbles along the dirt paths. To the villagers, Ben was invisible, a boy with no remarkable talents, no grand dreams, and certainly no future. "He's just another nobody," they'd whisper, shaking their heads. Even his parents, weathered by years of toil, urged him to accept his lot, work the fields, marry young, and live quietly. But deep within Ben's heart burned a spark no one could see, a belief in himself that refused to flicker out. At school, Ben struggled. His grades were average, and his teachers dismissed him as unexceptional. "Focus on something practical," they'd say. But Ben had a secret passion, running. Every evening, when the village settled into its sleepy rhythm, he'd sneak to the outskirts, where the field stretched endlessly. There, he'd sprint, his bare feet pounding the earth, feeling alive as the wind rushed past. He dreamed of racing in the national championships, a dream so big it seemed absurd to everyone but him. One day, a faded poster on the community board caught his eye, a regional track meet with a chance to qualify for the nationals. Ben's heart raced. This was his shot. When he told his parents, they laughed softly. "Ben, those races are for city kids with fancy coaches. You're a farmer's son." His friends were harsher, mocking him outright. "You run with the elites. You'll trip before the starting line." Even his school coach, a gruff man with little patience, shrugged. "You've got no training, no gear. Stick to what you know." Their words stung, but Ben's self-belief was a shield. He didn't need their approval, he had his own. Every dawn, he woke before the roosters, running miles through the fields, timing himself with an old wristwatch. He fashioned weights from sacks of grain, strengthening his legs. He studied videos of great runners on a borrowed phone, mimicking their form. His diet was simple, roti and lentils, but his determination was boundless. "I am enough," he'd whisper to himself, sweat dripping, heart pounding. The day of the regional meet arrived. Ben stood at the starting line in his tattered shoes, surrounded by sleek athletes in branded gear. Their coaches eyed him with pity, the crowd murmured about the village boy. When the gun fired, Ben surged forward, his legs a blur. He wasn't the fastest at first, but his endurance, honed by years of running through fields, kept him steady. Lap after lap, he closed the gap. The crowd's murmurs turned to gasps as Ben overtook runner after runner. In the final stretch, he unleashed everything, every doubt he'd silenced, every laugh he'd ignored. He crossed the finish line first, collapsing in disbelief as the crowd roared. Ben qualified for the nationals. The village that once dismissed him now buzzed with his name. But the nationals were another beast. The competitors were Olympian level, with years of professional training. Doubt crept into Ben's mind for the first time. The night before the race, he sat by a river, staring at the water's flow. An old man, a retired runner who'd heard of Ben's story, approached. "The race isn't won with shoes or coaches," he said. "It's won here," pointing to Ben's heart. "Believe in yourself when no one else does. That's your power." Those words reignited Ben's fire. At the nationals, he ran not for the crowd, not for the medals, but for the boy who refused to give up. He didn't win gold, but he placed in the top 10, an unheard-of feat for a village boy with no formal training. Reporters swarmed him, coaches offered scholarships, and his village welcomed him as a hero. Ben's story spread far beyond the hills. He proved that self-belief could defy odds, silence doubters, and carve paths where none existed. Today, when Ben runs, he carries a lesson for us all. The world may call you ordinary, but if you believe in yourself, you can achieve the extraordinary. Let Ben's journey inspire you to trust your inner voice, chase your dreams, and prove the world wrong, one determined step at a time. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming and inspiring stories. Thank you for being part of our journey.